Let's talk about a huge tectonic shift that's happening right now in the global economy. It's being called the Great Rebuild. And it's not just about bringing old factories back home. It's about totally reinventing them. We're going to dig into why this is happening now, the unbelievable amount of money behind it, and the one giant challenge that could stop this whole thing dead in its tracks.
Think back just a few years. Remember going to the store and it felt kind of like a treasure hunt? Yeah, those empty shelves. They weren't just annoying, they were a massive red flag, a global wake-up call about a much, much bigger problem. That collective experience of not being able to find what we needed, it was more than just frustrating. For governments, for huge corporations, it was a terrifying moment of clarity. It showed that the very foundation of our global economy, our supply chains, were way more fragile than anyone was willing to admit.
So yeah, this global shock forced a complete rethink of everything. For decades, the playbook was simple, right? Developed countries would focus on services, on knowledge work, and we'd ship all the manufacturing jobs overseas, where the labor was cheaper. That was just how it worked.
Well, the pandemic just shattered that playbook. It proved that these incredibly long, complicated supply chains were a massive gamble. All it took was one little link to snap and the whole system just froze. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't about efficiency and saving a few bucks anymore. It was about something much more fundamental: economic security.
So the big response to this crisis is this major push to bring manufacturing back. But, and this is the important part, we're not talking about firing up your grandfather's factory again. Seriously, forget those old pictures of smokestacks and grimy, loud assembly lines. The industry of today looks nothing like that.
The official term for this whole movement is reindustrialization. But don't let the word fool you. This isn't some nostalgic trip back in time. Nope, it's a strategic leap into the future. It's all about rebuilding our industrial backbone with a huge injection of high-tech goodies like automation, digitalization, and advanced tech.
Here's a good way to think about it. The old industrial world, that was all about muscle power and just repeating the same task over and over. The new model, it's driven by brains, algorithms, robotics, artificial intelligence. We are talking about factories that are not only way more productive, but also a whole lot smarter, cleaner, and more innovative.
And look, this isn't just about some feel-good national pride. This is a cold, hard, strategic move. The goals are super clear. We want to boost our economic competitiveness. We want to stop being so reliant on other countries for the stuff we really need. We want to create a whole new wave of high-skilled jobs. And, this is a big one, we want to secure our most vital sectors like tech and medicine.
Okay, so is this just a bunch of fancy talk, or is there some real money behind this whole industrial comeback? Oh yeah, there's money. In fact, the amount of cash being poured into this is, well, it's almost hard to wrap your head around.
Let's actually try and put a number on it. How big of a bet are we really making on bringing these factories back home?
You might want to sit down for this. The number is $3.4 trillion. And that's just the planned investment in Europe and the US alone for the period between 2025 and 2027. This is not a test run, folks. This is a full-blown economic transformation.
So what does $3.4 trillion actually buy you? Well, the goal is pretty concrete. Boost the amount of stuff we make ourselves from about 45% of what we need up to 49% by 2027. Now, a 4% jump might not sound like a huge number, but for economies this massive, that is a monumental shift toward being more self-reliant.
And this isn't some far-off plan, you know. It's literally happening as we speak. Just look at TSMC, the biggest chipmaker in the world. They're dropping an incredible $65 billion to build brand new factories in Arizona. That's a massive signal that even the most complex, most critical high-tech manufacturing is coming home.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? There is one giant hurdle standing in the way of this grand plan. You can build the most amazing, futuristic factories in the world, but you still need people. People to design them, to run them, to fix them. And the skills these new jobs require are a world away from the factory jobs of the past.
And the data on this is, well, it's pretty alarming. A whopping 72% of companies are already saying they can't find enough people with the right skills to make this happen. This isn't some future problem. It is the single biggest roadblock we're facing right now.
To really put this skills gap into perspective, just look at this. The percentage of workers with these advanced digital skills, it needs to jump from about 31% today to 53% in just 3 years. That is a seismic shift in the job market, and it needs to happen at a speed we've never seen before. But here's the really fascinating twist to this challenge. A modern factory isn't just a place that makes stuff anymore. It's actually a powerful engine for learning. The very act of building things in this new high-tech way is one of the best ways to create and develop the exact technical and digital skills that we so desperately need.
So, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. When you connect all these dots, the wake-up call from the pandemic, the trillions in investment, the incredible new technology, and this huge skills challenge, you start to see the blueprint for a whole new kind of economy. One that's not just more innovative, but also a lot more secure.
All right, so if you're going to take anything away from all this, let's boil it down to 4 key things. 1, this is all about tech-driven modernization. It is not a return to the past. 2, this is a strategic move for economic security and just being more resilient. 3, this new industry complements our knowledge economy. It doesn't replace it. And 4, maybe the most important, the biggest hurdle is building a workforce with the right digital skills.
So, at the end of the day, the role of manufacturing in our world isn't shrinking. Not at all. It's evolving. It's becoming smarter, safer, and deeply, deeply integrated with technology. It's a powerful new hybrid, really.
And that brings us to the final and most critical question. The factories are coming back. They're backed by trillions of dollars and incredible new tech. The money is there, the plan is there. The only real question left is, are our skills ready for what's coming next? Thanks for watching.